Hello, Mad Nation, and welcome to another exciting edition. It is not Jordan, it is not my den, but it is the Mad Den, a.k.a. the Laser Show, the internet's most passionate show about John Madden, NFL 13, kicking off with a bang show 265. We are back in the business, back in the Mad Den, and yes, I know it's been a while. Patriots are, unfortunately, I have my Patriot swag on. Unfortunately, the Patriots have lost. They're out of the playoffs. Best of luck to the Ravens and Joe Flacco. Joe Cool, if you will, for T-Sizzle, his nickname. But that's unfortunate. Yeah, you know, the Patriots are a good squad, but they got beat. They got smacked in the mouth, and it is what it is. But today, we're not going to talk about a specific team, not talk about a specific playbook. What I wanted to talk about is building a foundation, if you will, for your offensive scheme, offensive attack in Madden NFL 13. Now, what we're going to talk about today on the show is just simple hot routes. I'm not talking any specific formation. I'm not talking a specific play. What we're going to refer to and go over today is learning what hot routes in like specific formations, who to hot route when, how to utilize your hot routes the best way possible, so that no matter what play you use, you get into this mindset of thinking, okay, this is how I want to attack defenses. This is how I want to play the game, these specific hot routes, so that when you do lab and you have those specific plays, then you can take this hot route mini scheme, mini guy, whatever you want to call it, and you can improve your overall scheme. So we're going to show you, I'm just going to pick a random play on offense, and then I'm going to talk about why I'm hot routing the guy, when I'm hot routing him, the reason behind it, and how to make basically a perfect play out of any play in Madden NFL 13. So let's get our zoomy zoom on. I know everyone's missed that. If you missed last night, we had a great Twimmies, but here you go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Whoa. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There it is, a little zoomy zoom action. And we'll jump into the game. And, I mean, you guys also missed out on these bad boys, MVP carbons. I was calling them the carbines, but the MVP carbons, these things are sweet, guys. If you're interested, you can get pre-order them on GameStop right now. I'll put the link in the bottom. But these are a full-out gaming headset. These bad boys allow you to not only game with great surround sound and whatnot, but you can go on the go. If you're going to the mall, you're going anywhere, you can game with these, listen to your music. They're made by Monster. They are the same guys that make Beats by Dre, but this is a dual headset that you can game with and listen to, which is pretty sweet. We got a pair. They're pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it. Never really was a big-time headphone guy, but my headphone game is a 99 now, so I'm excited about it. So let's change the camera over to 360, so you get the good view. And let's talk about hot routes and what exactly you want to do in Madden 13. So I'm using the San Francisco playbook, but we'll go to offensive random play. That's what we want to do. And I don't know the formation I'm going to get. I also don't know. I might get a run, which I'll change to a pass. So for this example, I'm in a single back bunch, and the computer has flipped it. Now, one thing you want to do initially, so I just quick audibled up to a quick pass. One thing you want to do initially is to target, are there any tight ends on the field, registered tight ends? And what I can see is that Vernon Davis is a tight end. And this is the first and most important thing that you can do when it comes to deciding how to start setting your play up. Now, tight ends cannot be pressed in man-to-man coverage in Madden NFL 13. So that means you could put Vernon Davis here on a streak, and he'll get a free release. Now, that's advantageous for our offense because we can have rhythm, we can have timing. We know that he's going to be in a specific spot at a specific time, which ultimately helps us be able to run our offense through this one route. So that's the first guy that you need to target. Then next, you need to determine, after finding the tight end, where is the other receiver or tight end, whoever it might be, that is off the line of scrimmage. What I mean by that is, see how Moss is offset alongside Vernon Davis, and you see Ted Ginn and Crabtree that are on the line of scrimmage. On the line of scrimmage just simply means where the ball is, nose of the ball, where the offensive line is, that's the line of scrimmage. And then there's two other receivers that are split offset that are behind the line of scrimmage, and you can motion those receivers along with a halfback. Now, what's important for that is that this motion guy is going to complement the tight end route. And the reason we say complement is because this route, this receiver Moss here, we can also get him on a free release by doing something as simple as place him on a fade pattern, and then you motion him. Put him in motion, and the fade will be unpressed. So now you have two guys that you target that are unpressed. So for this example, Moss and Davis will get free release upfield, and we have two guys that we feel confident against attacking man press situations. Or even if it was a cover two, I'll get Moss out there and he'll run by the cover two. Now, the other things you want to target are other guys that look like they might be getting pressed. So for this example, Michael Crabtree is squared up with his defender. If that's man-to-man and he runs this slant pattern, I know he'll get pressed. So what I would want to do is to hot route him to a drag pattern, because I know drags can't get pressed. So you target Crabtree, you target the guy that you expect potentially could be pressed, and you drag that receiver. Now, the formula that we have here is Davis is on a streak. That could be a free release. That could be, I know he's going to get a free release if I put him on a slant in, if I put him on a zig, an in, an out, whatever I want, I know he's a free release. But I want to combine, use him in a manner that I know I also have a quick check down. So a lot of times, what I like to do with tight ends is I either streak them or I put them on a nice little zig pattern. Now, I also see that I have Ted Ginn in this situation, and this is your third and last receiver. So I identified my tight end, I identified my other receiver off the line of scrimmage, who typically is going to be the motion fade guy, and then you also have the far receiver here, Crabtree. I know he looks like he might be pressed, so I would drag him. Now, the Ginn route, this is up to you. I could streak him. I could do another drag, because I know that won't be pressed, but it's up to you how you want to utilize that last receiver. You can streak. Typically, a streak is usually a safe bet, but what you see here, this is a formula that I can use to attack, no matter if it's man, no matter if it's zone. What I would want to do in this situation is to motion out Moss. I want to motion him back and snap, free release, and now I can see how this play is going to work against a team. I had no idea what the defense was in. I just knew that my route combinations were going to work specifically against no matter really what I saw. So if you can see here, Moss on that motion fade, the defense actually dropped back from him. I could have snap throw that to him. I also have Vernon Davis, who is breaking to the left flat. He was open. And then you can see here that I have Michael Crabtree streaking over the middle of the field on a underneath drag pattern. And then you're going to see Ted Ginn. That was actually a great hot route there to Ted Ginn, because it looks like the defense is in a cover two look. An inside pass lead right there, I might be able to squeeze that, especially that safety right over on the right here, the strong safety. He doesn't really seem to be reacting to the deep pattern by Ginn. So you can see how, I didn't have a play. I wasn't using any specific play. I just identified the specific guys. I knew the routes that worked best for those guys, and then I executed, and I made the open read. So here, again, another formation, another play. So now I see that I have I-form, I see auto motion, I see Crabtree's on a deep corner. So let's do it again. Let's talk about what we have here. I have two tight ends. I have one tight end, Davis, on the line of scrimmage, one tight end, Walker, off the line of scrimmage. Crabtree's on the line of scrimmage. I have two backs in the backfield. So what do we talk about? Tight ends. What are tight ends good for? Well, tight ends, again, remember, you want to find them, target them. They're great for streaks against zone. They're great for fades against man, because they get inside position, and they're also really effective zig patterns. So if I get a formation that had two tight ends, this type of combination you see right here with a zig and a fade is absolutely fabulous, because the fade is going to get open against man downfield, or I could streak him, and I also know the underneath zig is going to be a nice option as well. Now, if you also have a scenario where you have a corner pattern on your route, you can't hot route a corner pattern, so understand that. But how can you help make that corner pattern better than it is? Well, you see here that Miller's on an auto motion route to the flat. I don't really tend to like auto motion, so what I would do in this situation is to hot route Miller to a simple swing pattern to the right, and the entire idea with that is that I want the Miller route to pull down any zones if it is zone coverage, so that deep corner route could be open. Now, again, I don't know what the defense is in, but I know I have specific hot routes set up so that I can attack no matter really what the defense is in. If it's man, I can go to Davis in the seam. On the inside pass lead, I could go to Walker in the flat on the zig. If it's zone and it's a blitz, I could hit Miller in the flat. If it's just a regular zone with zone defenders and a 3-man pass rush, Crabtree should get open as he breaks to the corner. So at the snap of the ball, let's see, it looks like to be zone. And I see how, now the zig is a great pattern against zone as well. Again, I'm not using any specific play. I'm just using the knowledge of who to hot route, when to hot route, and when to look for them at the snap of the ball. So here it is again. Now you saw it's a zone. It looks like a zone blitz. So I actually could have thrown to Miller in the flat, like I had mentioned, because he would have been open there for about a 4 or 5 yard gain. And you can also see right here with the zone, you can see that defender is being drawn down. He sees Miller, so he's being drawn. So I could have squeezed a corner pass lead here to Crabtree most likely. And then let's take a look at our other options. You can see that we have Big Vern Davis, who is on the fade upfield. That's a tight throw. That would be a tight throw to try and squeak that in there to him. But the underneath zig pattern, wide open. Again, it's about recognizing your personnel, recognizing who to hot route, when to hot route, and then executing. So we get the next play. Let's see what we got here. So we are in a single back normal, single back doubles formation. And again, let's target our team. Let's see who we want to use. So I see that I have one tight end. So that one tight end I can utilize to streak, and that's a nice option. Now I also notice I have Crabtree on the far right. That would be, it looks like he might be getting pressed. So a nice option would be to drag him there. Teddy Ballgame Ginn is on a streak pattern, but again, it looks like he might get pressed. So I might put Ted Ginn on a drag. And then I like to block Frank Gore in this situation. And then the last thing I see that I have Randy Moss, who is off the line of scrimmage. He could get pressed in a 2-man situation. So what am I going to do? I'm going to motion him inside, and let's see what we have here. We have that Chuck. It was actually cover 2, but again, you can see the inside motion allowed him to get that inside release for inside pass lead. But I would bet you, if I go back and look at that play, I'm going to have Vernon Davis, wide open. Cover 2, you can see he's wide open in the middle of the field. That would have been a nice option. And then I had the 2 underneath drag patterns that could have been nice checkdowns. And again, if it was man, they're not going to get pressed, and I feel confident I can give them a pass lead upfield to get an easy completion. Now, once again, you can see now we have a weak eye twin tight end formation. Let's audible to our quick pass. Now, this formation, let's talk about what we have here again. Now, again, we're in a situation where we don't have a guy in the line of scrimmage that we can motion. We could use Walker as that guy, but you know, I tend to, if there's 2 tight ends, I like to work the fade zig game in. So this example, what I would do here is I would fade Davis, Walker again on that zig. You see that same style of hot route combinations coming into play again. Well, I have Michael Crabtree, but I can't motion him. And press, a 2-man press really might throw that read off. So what I would do is I would drag Crabtree because I know it's a free release. Now, the other option that you have is you can see you have Bruce Miller in the backfield. He's offset. And what I mean by that is in I form that one time you saw that he was behind the quarterback in front of Frank Gore. What you could do here that's a nice option is to streak him out of the backfield. And see that little hook on his route? He kind of cuts left, then goes straight. That makes a nice little streak pass option up in the middle of the field. Nice option. That's something you want to kind of target with halfbacks in the backfield there in a split set. So let's take a look. I don't know the defense. I don't know what they're in. But let's take a look, see how the play develops. And there's that play right there to Miller. And as you can see, the streak was available to me. The drag, I think, was also going to be open as it was crossing my quarterback's face. Let's see. The zig was kind of defended against, but that drag was going to definitely open up if I waited a half a tick longer. The big Vern route, though, of course, I had that if I threw an inside pass lead. But again, guys, all about route combinations, and you can, for the most part, take any play, any formation, and make an effective play out of it. You just have to know where the guys are and when to hot route them and then execute. So let's take a look at another play. So this time I'm in the gun doubles. Let's hot route audible up to our quick pass. And how are we going to want to work this again? Well, you can see Big Vern on the line of scrimmage, a simple streak, a simple fade. You can block Frank Gore in the backfield. And then you also have the option here. Randy Moss could get pressed, so I'm going to put him on a drag. I could do the same thing with Crabtree, put him on a drag. Doesn't matter. And then Ted Ginn, he doesn't look like he's going to get pressed, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him be my flyer, and I'm going to put him on a streak, and hopefully he gets upfield. Now, the other guy, again, now I have to pick and choose. Do I want Moss or do I want Crabtree to be my swing guy? Which I mean by that is the guy that I motion and look to get an inside pass lead. So, for this example, let's go to Crabtree. We're going to keep Moss on that drag. Excuse me. Motion Crabtree over to the left, snap. It is actually zone coverage, and guess what? The drag underneath does a great job at attacking the zone coverage because the 3 vertical routes pull the defense upfield, and then you can see how the drag sits underneath beautifully. The vertical routes were kind of defended against. I could have probably snuck a pass in there to Crab, snap throw inside right there, but the drag route was the best option. Easily, that was the best option for my team. Now, again, a strong pro set. Take a look at what we got here. I see that I have a tight end. So again, streak the tight end, fade the tight end. You can zig them, whatever you're looking for. Again, if you see the defense is off like this, maybe you take a chance. You take a chance. I mean, that's the phrase, I guess. You take a chance, and you have Moss and Crabtree both going deep. And then, potentially you could try and hit them downfield for big gains. You could block your halfbacks. But then you also, if you're going to do something like that, you would want to have Davis be a check down underneath. As you can see, the zig pattern is the underneath check down. Let's go back. Oh, I don't know why it brought me back to that. Hold on. Brought me back here. But again, I ran this play earlier in. Let's take a look at what same setup as I had earlier, and you'll see how it'll still work. Motion Moss, snap, go, and that time I see I can snap throw that route to Moss as an effective route. Now, let's take a look at this play. Halfback screen, looks like I'm in a gun trips flipped, and this scenario, again, I like to block the halfback just for protection purposes. You see Crabtree's off the line of scrimmage. Or he's on the line of scrimmage, I'm sorry. So I know I can't motion him. So he's only a guy that I can see there. Davis is on tight end unpressed, and then I have Moss and Ginn I can work. I'm 100% going to drag Crabtree in this situation. Big Vern Davis, I'm going to, actually what I'm probably going to do here, I know he's unpressed. Actually, he doesn't. Other receivers don't look like they get pressed. So what I would do here is to streak Vernon. I would zig Ginn because Ginn doesn't look like he's going to get pressed. And then I would put Moss on a fade, and I'm going to motion him inside, get that free release, and then see how Ginn wasn't pressed. I knew that the zig could create separation if it was man-to-man. So let's take a look at that one more time. There's a setup. You see Crab coming open. I had Vernon for an inside pass lead. I would have had Moss and an inside pass lead. And it looks like I'm getting the same formation again. So we're going to go Crab on the drag. This time, let's go Vernon streak. I see Moss could get pressed, so what I'm going to do is put him on a fade, and then, let's just do this. Let's streak Ginn and let's zig Davis, or I know Davis can get over the middle field on a slant. So this time, motion Moss. Try to get that free release, and as he breaks up field, bad user play. But you're seeing how I'm using hot routes. Any play, it doesn't matter what the play is. It just matters how you execute, how you set it up. So, for example, I wouldn't want to put Michael Crabtree on a streak here because he could get pressed, and that throws the timing of the streak off. It makes things weird. So I want Crabtree on the drag, Teddy Ballgame Ginn on a drag because he's quicker, and Davis on a streak, motion Moss. If it is the man-to-man, is open, and that time I hit Ginn underneath, easy completion. So this is your hot route guide. Guys, this is important. This is really important to your overall success playing Madden 13. Yes, you can get the best scheme. Yes, you can have the best offense. I mean, whatever you want to have or however you want to pretend that you have. But the entire goal of today's show is to give you that base hot route foundation. And this came from on the forums. Someone had a good question. How do I, MaddenTips.com forums, how do I, what are the best route combinations to hot route? How can I pick up my hot route passing game? And, I believe that you could probably run an entire offensive scheme just based on hot routes. There's, the really most important route that you can have in the game that you can't hot route is a wheel pattern. And you can hot route wheel patterns out of the backfield, but, they're not as good as a stock, I think, like Pat's wheel drag, things like that. But you really need to be able to take these hot routes, take that what I showed here today, implement into your game, and I promise you're going to see how much easier moving the ball is on offense, because you're just going to know right away, oh, this guy's on the line of scrimmage, this guy's here, I'm going to do this, and this, and then your offense is just going. Then you add in a running game. Then you're going to add in a screen game. Then you're going to add in a deep ball game. All these things that you can do, and knowing that you have the confidence, pick literally any play in the game, lights out. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. As always, Madden Tip Nation, you and me together, we are changing the Madden community, and we are doing it one snap at a time.